Why is the sky red? What did I do? What did I do? I think... Whoo! What the hell?
What was that?
What are these? Obelisks? That's a triangle. They've made a triangle in it.
Whoa.
Oh, shit! Oh! Well...
Are you supposed to be out of the booth?
I'm getting back in the booth. When will it end? Look. Netflix has a lot of money to throw around. And by a lot of money, I mean a lot of money. Jesus. They have literally hundreds of millions of dollars every month to just like throw around willy-nilly at whatever the hell they want, to make whatever they want.
They're clearly worried about it with that whole fucking password crackdown bullshit, though. It's clearly they need more.
Yeah, and signups have increased a little bit, but not at the rate that they were expecting or hoping. So, yeah,
I'm convinced if it wasn't for Stranger Things and maybe like one or two other shows, that Netflix would probably have flopped by now.
Well, they had shows that were their anchor shows. You know, Orange is the New Black.
Which it got really bad after a couple seasons.
I know, but then after that they had Stranger Things.
It's the only consistently quality thing I can think of. That's
And now Stranger Things looks like it is ending its run after 5 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think they're going to be hurting once it's over.
Yeah, and that's why I think they're throwing as much shit as they can at the wall to see what will stick. You know, Avatar, The Last Airbender, One Piece, and a bunch of other shows coming out, which I don't know. All I know is that One Piece is a very, very, very beloved series over in Japan. It is the highest selling manga, I believe, of all time, which is amazing, but also considering it's been running for over 20 years.
I mean, not just in Japan. There's a bunch of people here that tout it's like the best thing
Oh,
ever.
yeah, but in terms of popularity, it's not as popular over here as it is in Japan, but still, there's a huge following here stateside that will be more than happy to, like, absorb anything One Piece related. And here's the crux of it all. One Piece, where it's animated, it lends itself to like the absurdity of which the world is.
The suspension of disbelief is
Yes. For instance, Luffy and his abilities with the gum fruit. You know, Zoro and his crazy like antics, like using a sword in his mouth as like a third blade. Sanji just like whirlwinding around with kicks. Ace and his fire fruit abilities. It's absurdity.
It's basically the exact same reason that I say a whole lot of anime would be ridiculously difficult to do properly in live action.
Yes, there are anime that you can. For instance, there is one that I would like to see made into, like, if you get actual good filmmakers involved in it. You know which one that is? Steins Gate. I would love to see a Steins Gate, like live action version.
That's because it's based in like
a semi-real world, a semi-realistic world.
It's based in like real Japan, and it's a story told in real Japan with just some time travel science fiction elements. Like,
yes,
it's not over the top like a lot of anime are.
Yes.
But
and
like when you start putting Bleach in live action, I think Full Metal Alchemist would work live action better than a lot of things.
But
if you had somebody do it like MCU style.
Well, and that's the thing where
it was given the proper care.
Well, and here's my thing about it. If they were able to talk to another company, because I think that the opening of the door for Japanese companies like making stuff more readily available in the West for Western companies to really dig their feet in or dig their claws into, it would be the Super Mario Brothers movie, because it made $1.3 billion on like a $100 million investment.
That's also not a live action movie either, though.
Well, it's not a live action movie, but it's a Western company making it. And I think that I think that there are certain things that can be adapted into live action. For instance, you talked about Full Metal Alchemist. They tried a live action Full Metal Alchemist in Japan, and it didn't work. The key reason is because they tried to film it as though it were an anime, and also the VFX and just a lot of stuff about it is just not good. But
that's why I say if it's done properly with the proper care, but the proper care has to be probably a budget on par with like Disney's Marvel stuff. You know?
I would say you could probably make a good Full Metal Alchemist if you were to do 4 Full Metal Alchemist movies and you were to separate. I know that the studio would argue it's like, well, no, you have to it has to be a trilogy. No, not necessarily. You can do 4. People's attention spans can stick around for 4 films. You just have to pace them out right. And I think the number one thing is just, if you tell the first, you cut up the main story into quarters. You cut out filler and stuff like that, and you just make the films to the best of your abilities. And of course, you need a good director at the helm of it. And I would say, I know that John Watts, the director of the live-action Spider-Man movies, where he's really good at like commanding space and like telling a story and like keeping the action centered, even though there's a lot going on. I think he would make a good director for a live-action Full Metal Alchemist series or Full Metal Alchemist movie series, and I would say that he would probably, I think he would do the best work. And
yet again, I'll just say that I'm still on the side of I don't really condone condensing books, video games, series into film. I don't think it's a good idea. I think they work much better if you keep the intended length by making them into a TV series.
Yeah.
I don't think you should try to squish shit like that.
Well, but my whole deal with it is whenever you get into that territory, you run into shitty television writers who love to depend on tropes all the time.
Like they don't do that in Hollywood with movies?
They do, but it's less prone in film than it is on TV. Because TV is basically, it's a repetitive, like, cavalcade of bullshit. And there are very few shows that escape it. For instance, I can count them on, I can count them on, one hand within the last 10, 12 years that's escaped. Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and I would also say the True Detective. Let's see. They escaped the conventions and they actually tried to do something different, and they didn't fold. They didn't fold to the television writers unions and shit like that, because that's what they always do. Game of Thrones was on track to do something like that, but then what did they do in the last few seasons?
Completely botched it.
Exactly. They folded. They folded, and they just couldn't help themselves. But One Piece, this is the live-action teaser trailer for the Netflix series that's coming out.
There's just a whole bucket full of reasons that I don't have any interest in this.
I just want to see how far they're gonna go with the animations and the powers and everything.
My number one reason is I don't see the point in getting invested in something will never be finished. And even if this is amazing, I know it will never be finished. There's no fucking way they're gonna keep up their live action Netflix thing all the way through all of the pre-established One Piece lore and story. No fucking way.
Maybe.
Never gonna happen.
Well,
I'll bet anyone $100 that that's never gonna happen, because I'm that confident in that.
Maybe. Also, the thing is, television, like actual live action actors get older, and thus are prone to, aging and stuff like that.
Not being here or not being able to continue 1,000 episodes from now.
Yeah. But, well. Might as well give this a watch and just groan at the absurdity of it all. Here we go. This is One Piece. Piece of blue.
Ever since I was a kid.
There's the Mary.
sea's been calling. So, I'm setting out to follow my dreams.
Marity, okay.
I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
Oh.
All I need is a loyal crew. And
Zoro.
I think together we'd make a pretty good team. We're heading up to the Grand Line.
A treacherous stretch of ocean with bigger islands and bigger
Shanks.
pirates.
Buggy?
Careful with
Oh.
that.
I don't work for you.
I'm sensing a little bit of tension amongst the crew.
Not a crew.
We haven't sailed together for very long,
Like
but
Sanji.
I know we've got each other's backs.
Usopp?
All great fighters call out their finishing moves. No, they don't.
Okay. It's not the worst, but
That was funny, at least.
yeah. Well, I'll say this. The actor who's playing Zoro is nailing Zoro's deadpan, like, reactions to Luffy's, like, absurdity.
He didn't even feel that deadpan to me, though. He almost is kind of overdoing it a little, I think.
Well, he's like muting his emotions a little bit much, but he's just like, Luffy. He's like, Luffy, that's stupid.
All great fighters call out their finishing moves. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
That was a good delivery. I gotta give him that.
Yeah, I will give that. That's a lot sooner than I was expecting. That's 3 months away, or 2 months away. Sorry.
I don't know, like, it doesn't look like the worst thing I've ever seen, but I haven't seen enough of the anime or read any of the manga, so I don't know how the fans of this are going to take it.
Well, here's my
218,000 likes to 122,000 dislikes is not the best ratio, though. It's like for every 2 people that think it looks alright, 1 person definitely thinks it looks pretty bad.
I would say my whole deal with this is it's not the worst thing I've seen. There is promise here. You can definitely tell. I'll say this. The set designers nailed the look. The set designers nailed the look of like the overall world and everything. I just worry that the performances of the actors are going to like drag away from the overall not to say I don't know though. I may watch this and I may be impressed and I may say to myself, damn, this is a lot better than I expected.
Just from the one time that they showed the Gun Gum Punch, didn't look very good.
No,
And I don't think that the combat scenes are going to hold up to the action of the anime.
well, the anime has great action in it and it does the right stuff when it needs to. Whereas, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, the one thing, like, besides the action that everybody touts about why it's such a good series is the world building. And so, how much world building they try to do is going to probably directly impact what people think about it. Because if they throw that aside and kind of miss that point, I think it's going to alienate most of the fan base.
Probably. And we'll see how it's handled. But anyway, yeah, that's the One Piece official teaser trailer. I guess we'll see how this all plays out. But until then, everybody, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
Y'all be good people. We'll see you next time. Peace.